Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Super Metroid multi-category tournament. We got a good one for you today. A match between Osse101 and ARealCutie. It's going to be a triple bingo match. I am Apathy Duck, and I'm joined today by Kip. How are you?
Doing well, Duck. Nice to have you here on commentary. We are doing a triple bingo, as he just mentioned. This is a big matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Two runners who are 4-1 in this tournament. This is the last round of Swiss, and whoever wins this match will be locked into the playoffs. Whoever loses will not be out of the playoffs, but they will have to participate next week in a play-in race with several other runners. So this should be a lot of fun. ARealCutie deferred to Aussie. Aussie banned any percent. ARealCutie banned low percent. And so now we're doing triple bingo. This is a great matchup because ARealCutie actually ran a world record triple bingo time earlier in this tournament. And also, I think it's interesting because Aussie's very good at bingo and randomizers in general. Obviously, bingo and randomizers are slightly different, but he certainly has a mind for both. So this should be a really fun matchup.
Yeah, I think the Aussie vetoing of any percent was pretty obvious. Cutie obviously being one of the best at that category. Honestly, kind of a bad matchup for Cutie in this. Like you said, Aussie is a real strong router. Does all the randomizer, all that kind of stuff. So, I think triple bingo is kind of looked at as the upset heavy category. So maybe a little surprising that Cutie decided to go with triple bingo over low ice. Although I don't think Cutie is a big low ice fan either. But definitely two really strong players in this category. I don't necessarily think Cutie's got that much of an edge in this one, if any at all.
Yeah, I probably would give, and I like both of these runners a lot, by the way. I would probably give Cutie the edge just in terms of, he's got a lot of really elite level movement and skills in general. But Aussie is certainly one to be reckoned with. I mean, he's got great movement too, but in particular, he's always really good about isolating what he thinks is going to be fastest and executing. So I think this is going to be a really solid one. To your point, though, it is easy. These triple bingo cards are kind of overwhelming with information. So the reason it's so difficult is because it's just hard to tell sometimes what the correct thing to do is, and sometimes you can just miss. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get the bingo card up on the restream here. I thought we had it fixed earlier. I'm not sure, but we'll wait and see. But as soon as it's up there, we'll discuss everything with you guys so y'all know what we're looking at.
Yeah, we get to stare at the card for an extra couple minutes, and I have no idea how I would route this. So yeah, it should be, routing can definitely make a big change in this depending on where they actually end up going. It also just depends on what the texture of the card. If it's a really obvious route, then I definitely think Cutie's probably still got the advantage. If Aussie can find some creative way to do this, he may be able to pull this one out. There we go. We got it up.
Our guy Carito coming through for us. Got to give a big thank you to him. He's been restreaming a ton of these races, so we definitely appreciate all the work he's been doing. So, Apathy Duck, let's take a quick look. One thing I will tell you in advance, just generally speaking about bingo, I'm not a triple bingo expert. I did win the double anti-bingo tournament last summer, so I'm not totally unfamiliar, but at the same time, triple bingo is quite different. One thing to note is the strength of going wreck ship first is pretty strong on most cards, simply because it's very difficult to find a card in triple bingo where you can completely ignore Meridia. And so most of the time people are going to need Gravity Suit anyway. So not in every situation, but in most, going Fan Tune first is going to be pretty strong. Both of these runners are certainly fit to do that. Outside of that, man, the least amount of backtracking that you can do is probably best. But sometimes when you're asked to collect a lot of items, that can be very slow. So do you notice anything on here that you think would be good or bad?
Yeah, I was kind of noticing. It does seem like kind of a heavy Meridia seed. We got Plasma. Plasma will knock off 2 right here. You can couple it. You'd have to do Dragon to get that anyways. You might actually see the Phantoon to Forgotten Highway with that Criteria Meridia elevator. I'm trying to look at this. Column 1, column 2 look like you can knock those off pretty well together. The problem with row 1 with column 1 is you have that skip spacer and then spacer up there, so they're only gonna be able to get one of those. They're self-isolating or mutually exclusive, rather. So yeah, the Meridia looks pretty strong here. Like I don't. You can do this without even going to Norfair, it looks like. So I'm kind of thinking maybe Fantoon into Forgotten Highway. Honestly, I think that's what would be my first thought.
Yeah, maybe so. Sometimes you get cards that are real heavy on like Norfair and Lower Norfair. This one does not look as heavy on some of that. Of course, if you want to do something like Visit the Critters, you'll have to get the speed booster to be able to do so, or at least traditionally. We will tell chat this same thing we would say probably for just about any bingo. The two of us are having to watch runners and track while we're doing commentary. Please feel free to let us know if they have collected or something, or have gotten a tile that we haven't marked for them.
So we do have this 75 missile goal here. Probably have a good indication if they're going to go for that, at least thinking about it. If they pick up the extra missiles in the early supers, could be a hint that they're looking at either row 3 or column 3, or the diagonals even. It's right there in the middle.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting options here. A few of the tiles that I don't particularly love, and this is not just in this card, but just in general. I don't love 40+ power bombs. That's pretty rough. Collect Plasma Beam or defeat Ridley. I would say, oh man, maybe 80% or more of the time, people are going to collect Plasma Beam for that, because a lot of times they have to do stuff in Meridia anyway.
Yeah, especially because there's Plasma Beam. It's a twofer right there.
Right, and even if it wasn't, though, that one would still, like traditionally be more selected, but I think it's even better here. Norfair Super Missile is not a good one because the Norfair Super Missile is at Golden Teresa. So unless it is the last thing you do to complete the card, you would have to then defeat GT and then leave. So that one's pretty slow. Of course, it's right next to Screw Attack, which is interesting.
Yeah, we'll see if Cutie's getting the Brinstar missile, see if he also gets the, or the reserve tank, see if he also gets the missiles here.
Very good. So that's one reserve for both players here, and looks like they are going to grab some more missiles.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going for that 75, but like if you're you have to kind of route while you're playing while doing this. So something with 75, especially being in the center right there, they might just be grabbing those missiles now to give them the option of doing it later. But if they find maybe a slightly better route, they may end up abandoning it. So.
Yeah, that can happen. People can change what they're doing in the middle of a run. Usually by this point, I try to just commit to whatever I think is the fastest and then quit looking at the rest of the things. Mainly just because I don't want to confuse myself worse. But we did see some people make an adjustment earlier in today's race, which was cool to see. Close race so far. Both runners in big pink here.
So it looks like both are not going to be going for that row 2 because they both got the charge beam, it looks like.
I believe that's 25 missiles for Cutie so far, so I assume he's going for the 75 missiles probably.
Could theoretically just be picking up the missiles just for ammo if they think they're not going to have a better way of taking care of Dragon, if they're thinking that.
Maybe. I would say it's, and again, I could be wrong, but I would say on average, most people are not going to pick up that many missiles if they're going wreck ship first, unless they have a specific need to do it, because it's just a lot slower. So You know, if you can get away without collecting a lot of missiles, you can kind of run like a new route or even old route loadout for some of this. So the fact that they're taking time to stop and grab them is probably an indication that they're for one of the tiles. Osse going down to Norfair without killing Kraid and getting the various suit. This is going to be...
Yeah, he's getting this E-Tank. We do have the 7 plus E-Tanks. He might also be getting the high jump boots, which would lock him out of a row and a column. Nope, looks like he's just gonna turn around. Just want the E-Tank.
Is Osse about to hell run this without high jump boots?
You know, we said Osse is a creative router when we started this.
Also, somebody needs to help me out. I was watching Osse for a minute. Did Cutie end up picking up the missiles behind Power Bomb? I'm gonna assume that he did. Thank you for the assist, chat. ARealCutie now at the moat. I'm sure he'll get over with no problem. This should be pretty old hat for him. He's a very excellent new route.
Osse is doing what you were asking he was doing.
Dude, this is awesome.
This is a pretty tight hell run with high jump boots. So, but he gets through really the difficult part. I think he should be fine at this point.
What a gamer.
That is pretty impressive.
So Cutie now in his Fantoon fight, he's got plenty of missiles and plenty of health. I mean, this is pretty normal for a new route runner. So let's see what kind of patterns he gets and if he can get a 2-round here.
Yeah, I need to double check Osse's missiles. He must have 1, 2, 3, 4, so he's got to be at 20 already, I believe.
Cutie cleaning up that 2-round, very nicely done.
Yeah, he's probably thankful for all the extra missiles he has got in that fight.
This is the problem with doing high jump bootless hell run without extra energy tanks, which he didn't really have a chance to pick up. He pretty much got everything he could have given his routing. He has, you know, I mean, I like the idea, but in practicality, if you don't execute everything perfectly and get good drops and stuff, you can end up sitting in this room for a really long time. And so also skipping high jump boots, you know, I'll be curious to see if the play will end up saving time to keep the tile. A lot of times skipping high jump boots does not save time because of the amount of movement you have to do for the rest of the run. But it just depends, so we'll see. But anyway, he's safe, so that's good.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's doing this and not going to be taking that tile. I mean, he did get the Brinstar reserve tank, which is in that row. If you're going to do this, I feel like you would get high jump boots unless it was very specific for a tile that forced you to not do it. So he's got to be planning at least column 2, if not column 2 and row 5. But you know, row 5's got that Norfair super missile in there, like you said. That's also a tough one to grab. But it does couple in with the screw attack though. You can get both of them kind of right away.
Yeah, the only time, like, I've done hell runs like this in bingos before. Actually, it's kind of ironic against Aussie in the finals of the double ante bingo tournament at SG Live. He and I played in the finals, and I won. But in that particular race, I actually did some hell runs so that I could get the wreck ship reserve without picking up Varia. But the problem is that if he's trying to get like, and maybe I'm misreading the card or something, but if his primary concern is just 3 reserve tanks, then traditionally it's going to be a lot easier and faster to get Brinstar, Norfair, and Meridia with like a normal kind of item loadout. So, but I don't know. We'll see what he does here. I don't usually assume that what I'm thinking is correct. A lot of times these runners have a better idea of what they're trying to do than we do.
So with that interesting one, the Criteria Meridia elevator, if you want to get that one, would you do that here to go to Dragon, or would you kill Dragon and then get Plasma and then take the elevator? I guess it depends on exactly what other part of the card you want to do. But I feel like either way is
I wouldn't do it unless I had gravity already, obviously. So
well, that's what I'm saying. Would you just turn around here and just go straight to Forgotten Highway, or would you kill Dragon and then come up?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, you do have to finish at the landing site too. Maybe but I mean, I don't think that row really works all that well. But you could come through, get Plasma, come through Forgotten Highway, then come back up to Criteria to finish up. I mean, that elevator's out of the way no matter what. Which is the only reason you would do it.
I don't think Osse got ice, did he? This is gonna be a huge problem. I mean, if he gets it first try, awesome. But it's just this is a place where people can get stuck very easily, trying to get up Red Tower without ice beam and without high jump boots.
Yeah, this short charge is a little tricky, but it's certainly within Osse's wheelhouse.
It is, but again, it's extremely tight, and it's in a race scenario. I mean, Sloters, when I faced Sloters in the double ante bingo tournament last year, it wasn't the reason that I won, but he got stuck here too, and it increased the lead by a significant amount. His other option is to kill some of these things and then try to infinite bomb jump. Maybe he knows how to do this kind of like diagonal jump here. I don't know, but it's pretty specific. So we'll see.
Yeah, Osse might also just be doing this just because he finds this stuff fun.
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him, but at the same time, I mean, this is a big race, between 2 quality runners. I don't know Osse enough to say whether or not he would do that just to meme. I mean, I doubt it, but
I wouldn't call it a meme. It's just Osse does Osse things, I guess, is the best way. He also, the other thing, like you said before, Cutie's obviously a really strong, talented runner. If there's a fairly obvious route through this thing, Osse might be thinking like he's not gonna be able to beat Cutie if they just kind of both play it straight, and he's got to come up with something creative to be able to win here. Okay,
so on that point, I mean, just for the purposes of discussion, I understand what you're saying because a lot of people have mentioned that in previous discussions. I think part of what you have to remember is that this isn't randomizer. It's a lot of people kind of try to connect the randomizer skills to bingo, which there is some crossover, but because it's based on vanilla routing and vanilla item locations, you can't take a gamble and have it work really. Like it's mainly about like literally finding the most efficient thing and executing. So sometimes like cosmic brain ideas in bingo are like very hard to pull off, if that makes sense, or they just don't work at all. Yeah, so maybe, but we'll see. I think he might have just been in a position where he forgot about this because this has happened to many runners before.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, I was just more thinking like, there might be the straightforward path, and maybe Osse seems something that's a little bit more efficient if he can pull it off. Of course, the if he can pull it off part is the challenge. But again, he may feel he's got a better chance doing this over just following in Cutie's footsteps. Was my main thought.
Yeah, maybe so. Who knows? We'll see. We'll hear from him in the interview probably. So looks like Cutie's heading over to Bubble Mountain, and Aussie did manage to get up Red Tower there after some infinite bomb jumping, which is great. And he's got his first set of power bombs there. Cutie looks like he's going to get ready to collect, I would assume, the reserve tank here, in addition to speed booster. We'll find. Cutie getting reserve tank number 2, so he's 1 away from getting that 3 reserve tanks tile. Also grabbing a missile. Unless I have miscounted, I believe Cutie is at 55 total missiles. I might have missed one pack, but if not, then he should be 3 packs away. Excuse me, 4 packs away from the 75 plus missiles.
Yeah, I'm assuming Aussie got the... Actually, I completely missed if he got the Bubble Mountain missiles.
Looks like Cutie's getting ready to either head to Croc or leave the Norfair area. Let's find out what he's up to here. Looks like he's going to leave, and my assumption would be head to Meridia to start collecting different things. He's going to want to get that Meridia reserve, as I mentioned earlier, probably on the way out. Again, it's hard for me to know exactly what they're thinking, but based on his routing so far, I would assume he's probably going to route in the plasma beam, so probably just going to do Meridia straight up, maybe grab a missile pack or 2, head over to Dragon, and then get plasma afterwards, and then probably get that reserve on the way out.
Aussie's not checking off the critters. Or collecting these missiles, so he's, I guess, not going for the 75 or for the critters. Yeah, I believe Aussie's just 1 from the powerbomb tile already.
Yeah, Cutie, on the other hand, only has 1 power bomb pack, unless I'm mistaken. Looks like he's grabbing this missile pack and maybe super here and the aqueduct.
Wouldn't be totally surprised if Aussie's doing what you were talking about before, which is rare, which is completely skipping Meridia.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, it's technically possible. I've done it before in a triple bingo, but sometimes what you have to do to be able to pull that off is might end up being slower than just getting gravity to begin with. It's just very rare with so many tiles connected to Meridia. It's very rare to have to do, 13 or so to make it happen.
Aussie's finally getting those critters. He must have simply just forgotten this, because he just dipped right in here to come back out.
Unless I've miscounted, I think Cutie is 1 missile pack away from having 75. So he's either got it now and I'm mistracking one, or he's 1 away. So he did pick up that reserve and now has 3 reserve tanks. Looks like he's going to skip over the Meridian map station. And also looks like he's trying to do a green gate glitch here, which is, oh, maybe not. Maybe he was just farming for power bombs or something. And now he's going to grab that Meridian map station.
I'm trying to suss out exactly what Osse is trying to go for. Because he's just completely avoiding all the suits. Like, he can't do the... Like, a lot of the columns are kind of, like, eliminates. And if he's gonna go to, like, Ridley, why wouldn't you just go ahead and kill Kraid at that point? Before doing the Hell Run?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I have a hard time trying to... I mean, it's... trying to figure out exactly what they're thinking and what they want to do. I mean, sometimes they don't even know what they want to do until later in the run, so it's kind of hard for us to know. So I'm sure it'll make sense soon enough, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, he could get the Norfair Super Missile and the Screw Attack without any suits. I believe that's 25 for him, by the way. Yeah, he's at 20, and then he just picked up 1, so that's definitely 25, at least.
Looks like Cutie is heading towards Botwoon. I would assume after this is over, he's going to pick up the Botwoon energy tank, and then maybe on his way to Dragon get that precious missile or something to finish up his 75 missiles. Or maybe he's got a plan for a future missile, I don't know. But anyway, he can't do any X Factors here, unfortunately, and used some great missile strats there. Botwoon also gave some good patterns. Ooh, unfortunately missed that super there. Cutie needs to be very careful. He should be fine, but he... Okay, there we go. Had to use very, very close to all of his ammo there for that. So I guess we got Criteria Super Missile incoming for Osse here.
Is he trying to kill Ridley suitless? That'd be a feat.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard.
It's hard to tell. Trying to back out. Just for, I guess you could finish on... When does kill Ridley actually count? Because I guess you could end there, and as long as you kill him, you don't even have to worry about getting out of the room.
Oh, Cutie just barely missing the full halfie there. I believe, I could be mistaken, I'd have to double check the rules, but I think that bosses are not considered dead until the drops appear, but maybe I'm only thinking of a few of the mini bosses. And there's the 75 plus missiles in the precious room for Cutie. Nicely done.
Yeah, if he's getting that map station, he pretty much has to be going for row 4, because he's already locked himself out of row 5, not skipping the charge beam. Oh, well, he got the criteria super. I was wondering why he got that super missile. It's because it's a square.
I think we got a dead shrimp on Cutie screen.
And Osse filling it.
He's gonna get the space jump. Oh.
I was just saying, Osse managed to filling in 2 squares at once with that Gauntlet E-Tank collection. Yeah, it looks like Osse's going to be going for that column 2, row 4, row 5. So, I mean, it seems good, except for the whole defeat Ridley part.
Well, Osse's pulled off some Cosmic Brain things in races I participated in, so you know, I'm eager to see it. I don't doubt the guy at all.
But it does. Oh, he's got to get the 10 wreck ship super missiles. Osse may be doing. Oh, that's why he's just gonna get gravity, because he's gonna get gravity, get the 10 super missiles. He's gonna do what I said, go through that. Oh wait, no, I guess he doesn't need that. That's not necessarily column he's looking at. I don't know. He's got 2. He can either do column 1 or column 2.
I hate to interrupt you, but I have to. Mandatory hype. Ladies and gentlemen, on Cutie's side, you just witnessed the one and only Plasma Spark. Nicely done, Cutie.
You're making me watch Osse over here. It's very rude. But it's very well done, though.
Yeah, it's real tough. All right, he's got Plasma Beam now. That's going to satisfy 2 different tiles. So one thing I just noticed, I don't know if it's going to matter, but I'm just going to go ahead and ask chat. I don't recall seeing Cutie get all 10 of the wreck ship supers. I do remember him getting the west ones. I don't remember him going to the east, but it's possible I could have missed it. Does anybody recall him pathing over there to get those on the right side after? I've only got him for 15 supers, and that one is not included in the count. Another swag strap by Cutie there, getting that nice speed keep. Fall down the You know what, Apathy Duck? I think I just figured out this whole thing. You ready?
Go for it, because I'm still confused.
All right. I figured out how everything they're doing makes sense. You ready?
Go on.
They had a gentleman's agreement beforehand that they would fill in every tile on the map, on the card, to get victory.
Okay.
That's what it is. They're just doing everything. They're just taking different paths to do everything.
I'd be with you on that, but you just implied Cutie was a gentleman, so I don't I don't know if that's going to be accurate or not.
Yeah, plus, I mean, I don't even know what I'm talking about. It doesn't even make sense what they're doing, but that's the best thing my brain can
I
come
mean,
up with at the moment.
Ossie's got is like real. It's this plasma beam or defeat Ridley score. Like this would be a really good route if it wasn't for that one square, which is just really. I mean, he's going to get gravity here, and he may take this gravity into Forgotten Highway, and then down into Norfair to get the super missile on the screw attack, and that would finish him off. Right, and then wait, I'd also have to. Oh yeah, then he won't have to do. Yeah, you can skip Dragon, get the map station, then go straight to Norfair, do the super missile screw attack, and then kill Ridley.
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, I don't doubt what you're saying. It's just, you know, it's easy for me to get sidetracked here.
But why bother doing that when you can do Forgotten Highway and kill Dragon, and then just not even bother with Plasma? I don't know.
Hey man, I'm just trying to keep up, to be honest with you. So
it's like he's done one too many columns here. That's the part that's confusing me. I'm excited to know how he finishes this off.
I'm but a humble speedrunner only. I have no brain to think about these things on the fly.
This is the man who humble bragged about winning the dab tournament earlier on.
No, I wouldn't call it a humble brag. Just giving some context for the thought process. I think dab and triple bingo are very different, actually. I think some people that might be better at one or the other could struggle with the other. I know I struggle with triple bingo a lot. There's just so much info to try to process, and you only get to see the card like right when it starts. But yeah, man, it's difficult, man. It's difficult. I'm sure both of these runners have adjusted what they've done probably on the fly. Cutie is path back to pick up some things in retro. I believe he just got that power bomb pack, and that was it. Now he's heading up. Maybe he's going to get the criteria super.
Okay, yeah, Ossie is taking this Meridia elevator, so he's got to be killing Dragon. So I think row 5's got to be the red herring for Ossie, which means he should have just gotten the high jump boots. Oh wait, no, he needed it for column 2. Excuse me. Yeah, that's it. The only reason row 5 is looking more attractive than it is because of the Brinstar reserve tank. He probably got that before he was 100% certain what he was doing. But he's going to go for his column 1 and column 2.
Apparently, Cutie has a power bomb that I didn't mark him for, and I don't know which one it is. I've got him at 15, but clearly he's got 20. So I'm trying to figure out. I've got him having Red Tower 1, Retro Brinstar, the one in Meridia. Did I miss him get Red Tower 2, maybe? I don't know which other one he got.
Yeah, so Ossie is actually pretty close to being done. Just once he just have to kill Dragon, pick up the plasma, and then check out this this map station, and he'll be done.
I'm gonna assume he got the one at beta power bombs, and I just missed it somehow. And here he's got the landing site power bombs, the criteria power. Is Cutie landing side away from finishing, or does he still need to get the criteria map station? Maybe did he forget to get that? Looks like he's got column 3, row 4, and bottom left to top right. If he gets the criteria map station and also the landing site. Maybe I missed him getting the map, but I think he did not get it after the supers. Honestly, when I have to click in between a bunch of windows, it's it's hard to keep track. Surely he's going down to get the map.
Yeah, he's going down to get it right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Osse's really not all that far off his route. Actually, I missed. Did Osse get the maps? I was looking at Cuties for a second.
I don't recall him going there, but I wasn't looking at his either. I think Cutie just has to go to landing site and he'll be.
Yeah, Cutie looks like he's gonna be done here shortly. Osse not that far behind though. Just really the Dragon kill and then going to get Plasma, which is, you know, not terribly far away. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Cutie. He is the winner. He has finished with an official SRL time of 40 minutes, and I want to say 24 seconds. Hold on, let me reach. That's correct. 40 minutes, 24 seconds. That is going to put him at 5-1 for the tournament, locking him at worst into the 4th seed going into the playoffs. Fantastic end to the Swiss rounds for Cutie. Congratulations to him. That will mean that Osse is going to move to 4-2. Still eligible for the playoffs, but will have to compete in the play-in race next week. But this was a really nice matchup.
Yeah, honestly, like you were saying with Osse's route, you know, he struggled a little bit on that early hell run. I don't think if he did that perfectly cleanly, I don't necessarily think that would been just enough to catch him up. He's having to farm here a little bit too for this Dragon fight. But really, I mean, the endings of I've watched a couple of these. The endings of these can really just sneak up. Like for some reason, I thought he was going for the other diagonal, and then I kind of realized I saw the green getting filled. I'm like, oh, no, the other diagonal. He's almost done, isn't he? So.
My bad, I needed to mark landing site. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So the final card here for Cutie ended up being column 3, row 4, bottom left to top right. Nicely. Cutie has declined an interview, so we'll sit here and wait for Osse to finish and then see if he wants to say anything. I will tell everyone, I don't know if we can interview for long. Even if so, we have a big match coming up next as well. I do want to encourage everybody to stick around. If you're a fan of Super Metroid, I don't think you could have asked for a better back-to-back race in this round. This race followed by, here in a few minutes, Richmond versus Galamaz, both runners at 4-1. Both similar seeded players, and I know both of these players, you know, pretty well. Two good friends, and I would say that their skill level is very, very similar as well. Both runners, in my opinion, were runners that I expected to make the playoffs. So one of them will make it. One of them will have to play in the play-in race, but it's going to be a really good match no matter what they decide to do. So definitely stick around. That's coming up on this channel immediately after this. In fact, that race is probably getting set up right now.
Yeah, I think there's another big one tomorrow too, isn't there?
Yeah, there's the 5-0 match between Shiny Zenny and Zost. It is definitely a huge matchup just in terms of entertainment, and also the winner will be the #1 overall seed. In terms of, it doesn't quite have as much riding on it as some of these other matches because those runners were both locked already for the playoffs since they're 5-0. But definitely going to be a race to watch. Not to mention the fact that I know I'm saying something that just about everybody knows, but earlier today, none other than Zost himself was able to break and secure the world record for Super Metroid any percent, the most coveted world record in Super Metroid speedrunning. He ran a time of 40 minutes and 55 seconds. It was very impressive. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, and Ossie's just gonna have to go get his plasma beam right here, and he will also be done, coming in not too much behind Cutie. So, what do you think Cutie had the better route through this too, or just won it on execution? Because it's hard. I don't know. It's hard for me to judge who. Ossie's, I think, was maybe a little more creative. I don't know if it was necessarily the fastest route through this card.
Well, this is the thing about bingo. I mean, I don't want to like take up a bunch of time. I mean, I really could talk about this for quite a while because it's very fascinating. Number one, bingo is, for people who might not be aware, bingo is very fascinating. In my opinion, bingo is probably more fascinating than rando. I have my reasons to say that. It's not an insult against rando. It's just that there are ways in rando, especially seed dependent, where just being a better player in general of this game can just carry you to victory regardless of your decisions. Bingo punishes you really hard if you misread the card. And especially with triple bingo, and especially considering they don't get to see the card until literally it starts, it gets very fascinating. So I can't really tell you who routed better. The only way I'd be able to tell you that is if I went back and ran this card myself multiple times. Does that make sense? Like, it's really hard to tell, I think, on the fly exactly what the perfect route would be. But, obviously Cutie did route well and did execute well, and to finish multiple minutes ahead. But looks like that's it for Ossie. GG to Ossie. Congratulations. Let's look at his official SRL time real quick.
46:16. So just looks like about a 6-minute gap between the two.
Well, that was a great race. So let's, I don't know how much time we have to interview. Let me check the Discord.
Tracy's saying we don't have enough time. So.
I'm sorry, she said we do or don't?
Don't.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that we do not have time for a full interview. Ossie, I know you're here. I will say GG to you. We would love to hear what you thought about the card, but we have to jump to our next race here in just a moment. So we'll just say GG. It's been a great tournament for you, and looking forward to seeing you in the play-in race. Do you have a preference for category potential?
Not particularly. I guess GT Classic is my strongest. Hundo is my weakest. But any of them are fine.
Well, tell you what, I'm sorry that we can't interview you fully right now, but how about you, if you have the time, come to Strat Chat Recap this Sunday night, and we'll interview you there and get your thoughts on the end of the tournament. Would that be something you'd be interested in doing?
Okay, sure.
See, peer pressure, ladies and gentlemen, peer pressure. All right, thank y'all so much, Apathy Duck. I appreciate you joining me. Hope everybody out there enjoyed it. Please stick around here in just a few minutes. We will have Galamaz versus Richmond. I promise you this one is worth watching. And Apathy Duck, I'll let you close this.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Stick around for this other race. This was a real good one. GG's to both Cutie and Ossie. And I guess we'll see everyone later. Have a good rest of your day.